Well, in the last video, we finally got done with doing all the carving to the horses, and I'm going to start to demonstrate a little on how to sand. You can either use just the plain sandpaper, or you can use a little sander like this that you can get at Lowe's. It's kind of like a little stress reliever sander that's kind of made out of a certain kind of material that you can use to put the pad on and sand it by hand. But I will show you all. There's a few things we need to do. First of all, you'll see there's saw marks under the feet here. I'm going to try to take care of those first. That's not typically the first thing I take care of, but that's how I just get off to my best start. And I'm kind of going to try to work along this one too. It kind of has a little green from where I think the wood was kind of painted on an end, and there's a little more to demonstrate. First of all, one thing I do is I go along the neck first and the side of the head, and sometimes might kind of come along on the leg there as well. Kind of work a little time with this. Try to go about front of the thing, and I say that this work shall come along. Great, fine work, I say, and this is a time when all we know is that, here we go, working along on this, and I'm taking care of how this is going to work. There may come a moment when you might have to take it off the pad and kind of work your way into some of those little corners it has, because those corners are going to be there. I'm going to try to go along the back of the head now. A little work in mine, it tells you it goes a longer way. Just know that you're working on what you're doing. Take care of all things, and as we go along this, I say that there's going to be places on here that are going to be kind of hard to sand down. So there's places in here where the wood's a little uneven. Kind of have to work your way about that. And I forgot to mention that I start out with a coarse grit. I start out here with a 40 grit just to kind of get you started, to kind of get the worst of the lines out. There's going to come times when you're going to have to use some lighter grits to kind of make it smoother, but this is where you get off to a first good start. As we work our way through this, light shall come and light shall go. I tell you all that this little work is something that makes a little place to come along. I hope I'm kind of getting all the worst of these lines out here, but I will say that there's going to come a moment when you're going to get along the underside, and might be better off in such a case using a piece of paper by itself rather than on the little hand tool. But here's how we go about this, and kind of work our way into it. All the worst little lines, we're getting rid of them one by one. I'll tell you all that it's kind of come along here, take along on the back of the legs and on the insides of the legs, and take a little work here and there, work our way through it, work our way into it, make our way into the little things that we do. I'm here to tell you all that this is a little work that can go quite a ways, take you to a place where it may never end. It may go infinity here and infinity there, but I'd say that sometimes when you're sanding with a free hand and with the thing by itself, works a little better. And one thing that I was told when I first started carving was that there's a certain kind of sandpaper you use. You use the fiberback kind and not the paperback kind, because the paperback kind of wears too easily. The one with the fiberback kind of lasts a little longer, and it's kind of what they've used with all kinds of tools like mouse sanders, belt sanders. There's even a certain kind of detail sander I have that I've used for some of my little projects here and there. Ones that was probably a little bit essential to, and I'm here to say that this work is going to come a long way to you and to me and to all the future generations. One little thing I say here is that grace is good, God is good. Well, we're coming a little further and kind of getting it right in the place where it needs to be. I show you all that little sandpapering here and there, a little work comes and a little work goes. Maybe we're getting back to where we can use this thing again. Try to get along the nose here, try to get along the snout, try to work our way a little more into the face, see how good it's going to go, see how good it's going to last. And I'll say that this little work is coming along fine and taking care of little matters just as good as they need to be. It's just a world where we all got to look out for each other now and then. I think since I've gone along on this one, I'm going to move along to the next. Perhaps in a later video, I can show you all a little bit more on how to go on to the next clip. But we're going to finish with this one here. We can always start in different places on different horses. See how this is going to go. All the ways it works in our lives. Oh, working on wood. I'm here to tell y'all people, this is kind of like my little source of relaxation here. Long ways coming and a long ways going. One of these days, you might see these cherry horses out on the market. You might say, oh, that's one Jonathan made in a video. It's just kind of like the time that we put in our hands and the work we put in our abilities. Just here to say that We're taking good care of things here. Just made my first little inventory note into my business notebook today. It was concerning some super glue I bought yesterday. It was just one of those things where it comes along our work, and there's going to come a time when it's going to meet the needs of our taxes. There's a lot of good record keeping in this world. A lot of good things we say, see, hear, and do. But this is the one thing that I say is going to last in life. Sometimes, just sometimes, there's little things we learn in life from the lessons we do. Been talking all through these videos about how it is, how we kind of want to go where we want to go, do what we want to do. In all our lives, we don't really have things our way, but we know of all things God says, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. Have you ever heard that phrase, put God in the box? It's a little more than you can do, you know. There's always little lessons to learn in life about how that works, you know. There is no box big enough for God to fit in. Because we're going to learn a little more about Him over time. Older we get, more we learn, more we experience. I'm here to say that sometimes it can be kind of a way with carving now and then, you know. Carving kind of works well. Sanding does too. I'm here to say that little work is going to come a long way. Take you a little further and make you a little nicer and better. Oh, the work of our hands. All we have to do is know that God watches over us all the time, unconditionally. One thing Jesus said to Peter was, feed my lambs. It's all about what I was talking about in the last video, you know. That means you may not go where you want to go or do what you want to do. And it's kind of how it is with me right now. But I say that I've got my best gifts in store. I know what my best gifts are. All the things I dreamed of doing, they weren't the things I was most gifted to do. Weren't the things I was best at. Weren't the things I was most designed for. Probably things I might have wanted to do here or there because somebody else did them. That was another person's calling. It wasn't mine. I'm here to say that I've kind of gotten so much done with the regular piece of work sander that I'm kind of at the point where it is finally time that I can kind of put a little extra work to this. Kind of time to sand along the legs here and kind of get all the little crooks and dents out of the wood. It's from the inside of the legs and between the legs, so work is taking me a little further than you know. Work is taking me a little longer than you know. I'd say that this type of work can really pay off once you are done with it. And I say that everybody's not gifted to work with wood or be crafty, but we all kind of have our own passions inside of us. We all have our own designs to do different things. Different ones of us are gifted in different ways. Everybody can't be good at everything. Like people tell me that they wish they could be crafty, wish they could be creative. But I say, you know, there's just a lot of things, a lot of normal things typical people can be that I wish I could be. So everything can't work for everybody the same way, you know. I think there's a little place under here where there's just a little tiny saw mark. I've got to take care of that, get that saw mark out from under the chin as I work along this project. Make things the way they need to be, make things the way they ought to be. It's just a time in our lives when we kind of see things a little differently here and there. And what it's come down to is that might even have to put on my little glove here and take that little knife and work my way into that little brown mark. It's probably going to come here and there. Probably ought to be wearing a thumb protector, but I'm not. And I think there's probably just a little bit of one in this one too, but we're taking care of that right now. It's going to come a long way, and all the work that goes into this little work of a project, I say that we've got a little time in this to take it a little further and take it a little nicer and be strong and gentle and take the souls in need to the best level we can and show people a little grace and mercy. Because I say one thing is that God calls us all to do different things. Lately He's called me to do this kind of craft work. It's kind of what I'd say has been my gift since I was a kid. But it's the kind of thing where, you know, you just get a little older and you improve here and there. And it all just takes you a little further down the line. Eventually you go and eventually you do, and there's a lot of things you'll know at some point. I'd say that this kind of work is good. Sometimes it takes a little experience to get better. And I say that there's these times when we kind of gotta show our work on video just to let people see a little bit more of what we can do. I'm kind of getting a little area out behind the ears right now. I'd say there's going to be a little further ways to go with some other bits of sandpaper in some future videos. But I think I've kind of gotten to the point where this is going to be about all for right now. Got to turn it off because I got a little appointment later.